Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Punk Rock Ham Radio. I am your host, KM6TWI. Well, this is a little unusual. I'm not outside. Winter decided to come a little bit early, and it's not even winter yet. It's doing winter things out there. There's like 4 feet of snow. I just got a rake, and now all my leaves are buried under the snow somewhere. I should probably get a leaf blower. But anyways, that's not what this video is about. Today's video is about how did this punk rock guy get into ham radio? Well, thanks for joining me. It's kind of a long story, so let's get started. One thing before we get started, if you've been watching my videos and my Hawaii videos, my chameleon whip got jacked out of my checked luggage. I have since replaced with Cool Whip Resurrected. The Wolf River Coil 213-inch whip. Can't wait to field test this thing. It might be a few more weeks till I get around to that. And a Sporty 40. So cool, I got more antenna projects to tinker around with. But anyways, let's get down to business. So how did I get into ham radio? Well, it is kind of a long story actually, so I'm glad you asked. So I'm an Eagle Scout. I grew up going to Scouts. I got my Eagle when I was 14 years old. I passed my board of review on my first try while all my other buddies were scrambling to get their Eagles by their 18th birthday. So what does that mean? Well, it means I grew up in Scouts. And when I was a wee lad in Scouts, going on Scout trips, our Scout leaders would use ham radio to keep track of all of us kids while we're going hiking, going on jamborees, going to Scout camps. There was like an award for Scouts for like the 4 like tallest peaks in Southern California or something. I forget what it's called. And yeah, I'm a paper chaser. I got after that thing and I got all of my merit badges and everything. So they would use ham radio on Simplex on the caravans going up to the mountains. We went on lots of hiking trips up into the mountains, and I have lots of memories. I'll never forget going up San Gorgonio on one of those adventures with my buddy. We're just hopping and skipping up the trail right to the summit, no problem. Our other buddy's up there. He's not doing so well. He looks like he's getting sick. And then we get to the summit, and our scoutmaster and his son are right behind us. The rest of the troop turned back, and my scoutmaster gets out his radio and just radios down to the rest of the troop that, hey, we're okay, we're gonna go and make our way back. I mean, it could have been GMRS. They were just walkie-talkies and repeaters. That's all I thought that ham radio was at the time. So, okay, cool. I just thought the radios were cool. It's like, these are like astronauts, dude. I can go up to this mountain and just like talk to people. Like, that's so cool. So, and I was showing interest as a kid, and my dad got me a radio for Christmas. It's right here. My first ham radio right here, this Alinco DJ G7. This was the radio I used in Southern California when I was first getting into SOTA and just ham radio as a technician. So I got some notes here. I don't have a teleprompter, but I got some bullet points. This is the most organized you're gonna see me preparing for a video about stuff to say. Usually I just kind of make videos and shoot from the hip and go on adventures and have fun. So showing interest as a kid, my dad got me this radio. Thank you, Dad. It did sit on a shelf for years until I got older. And I was in a band. I was in a punk rock band in Orange County, California. And I was living out of the band practice space when we weren't on the road, when we weren't recording, we weren't playing a show. I was either living out of the band practice space or parking the van in like downtown Fullerton in the parking structure. Like always like stealth camping, right? Like I'm prepared, I'm gonna go and do this, we're gonna be rock stars, and it's gonna be awesome. So there's no TV, there's no internet, but I would just scan around on this little HT in this band practice space warehouse next to the train tracks in Fullerton, California, where I grew up in my punk rock days. So when we weren't on the road or recording or whatever, I would just scan around on this HT. It's free entertainment. Cool. Like I can hear stuff. This is awesome. I even remember logging stuff down that like I would hear. I still have like a notebook saved, like it's in a box somewhere of just the stuff that I heard. Okay, cool. Like future ham radio operator here. So there I am. I'm in my band. The only entertainment that I have aside from practicing music and recording and working on demos in our recording space there was standing around on my HT, what would I listen to? I would listen to that 435 Renegade repeater in Los Angeles. Don't ever listen to that. It's a dumpster fire, but at the time in your younger, dumber punk rock years, I thought it was really funny. And I would listen to the Wind System, Trivia Net. I would listen to a lot of like broadcasts, like medium wave, like talk radio and stuff like that, because that was just all I had to listen to, or K-Rock or just whatever. I had a radio and I could hear all of the things, and I was always wireless when I was playing bass in my band. I always had to be wireless. I had some cheap, like, Shure PG, like, wireless guitar system that I always had to have, and I was always ready, had fresh batteries, always ready to go, always wireless. I ain't got no cables. So moving on, as I got older, I'm finding myself working in music stores out in Orange County, California. And my first Elmer, Paul Delaney, K6HR, if you're watching this, hey buddy, thank you. He was my former music store operations manager and encouraged me to get my technician license. And hey Alan, just study all of the right answers, get your license, you have the rest of your life to actually learn the stuff. Just get licensed. I was going on lots of hikes at the time, and we'll get more to that in just a second. So there I am, the band's broke up, I'm looking for just living to keep the roof over my head and my next meal and a place to sleep. I start looking for other hobbies. I'm like, oh yeah, I used to go to Scouts, let's just go hiking. I start going hiking like every single weekend, and at this time I'm just hiking up little summits and trails around Orange County, California, and I found this radio, and I just started bringing it with me and started tinkering with it at summits. Remember, at the time, all I think that ham radio is just walkie-talkies and repeaters, right? So I start tinkering with it just at random summits or wherever I was going. I could hear stuff, and I figured out how to like program a repeater in it. Don't tell anybody. I might have kerchunked a repeater once or twice. We've all done it. So eventually I want to change of scenery on my hikes, like Orange County, Crystal Cove, a bunch of cool stuff out there. I want to change of scenery, so I decide, hey, didn't we go up like Mount Baldy and like all these mountains in San Gorgonio and San Jacinto and San Bernardino Peak, all in Scouts? Let's go up Mount Baldy. That sounds like a good idea. Well, I'm going up Mount Baldy. It was one of the best decisions I ever made, by the way. But I got hand-me-down like hiking boots, like second-hand hiking boots, a cut-off Green Day t-shirt. I brought enough water, enough willpower, and a couple of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches to munch on at the summit. I was a little underprepared, but I did all right. And I remember coming back down, feeling like crap, ready to get off this mountain, that type 2 fun where like every step kind of sucks, but then you get off of the mountain, you're like, wow, that was awesome. So I started going up more mountains, and I got this radio with me. I'm listening to the Wind System like everywhere that I go. It's just in the background, always monitoring. I can key it up if I need to. I know I'm not licensed and I'm not supposed to do that, so I didn't, and I'm getting after the 6-pack of peaks, right? Going up all of the biggest peaks in Southern California, one weekend at a time. And I'm very, very interested in getting my technician license at this point. And the challenge at the time was to get up Mount Wilson, Cucamonga Peak, Mount Baldy, San Bernardino Peak, Mount San Jacinto, San Gorgonio Mountain, plus the 3 T's Trail. I had such a good time hiking the 3 T's Trail for the first time. Just as a punk rock adult, just going and getting after these peaks. That was a cool adventure. And I also went up Ontario Peak, and Mount Baden-Powell was the last summit on my list. So let's talk about that. So the time comes to go out Mount Baden-Powell. It's the last major SoCal summit on my list. And I almost fell off that mountain near the summit. I almost died. I had no other option. I got on this radio, this one right here, call for help, and that's a whole video in of itself. So we'll talk about that later. But yeah, I almost died, and I had to call for help on the ham radio with no license on the Wind System. But we'll get to that in a future video. I promise. The whole story, I could tell you all about that. So anyways, I get back off the mountain down to safety. Search and rescue has to come extract me off of the mountain, and they drop me off at the parking lot. I drive my merry way home. Talk more about that later. And I'm like, all right, I'm getting my technician license now. And I buy Gordo's technician study book. And just like Paul Delaney, K6HR, my first Elmer in Southern California, told me to. Studied all the right answers, and eventually I got my license. But before that happened, I want to talk about this. YouTube. Hey, everybody there on YouTube. Jerry, KG6HQD, now Silent Key. If we could all just have a moment of silence for Jerry, KG6HQD. Hiking and Ham Radio. I go searching on YouTube, Hiking and Ham Radio, and then there's Jerry's channel. He's doing this thing called SOTA, Summits on the Air, like what you just go out to the top of these peaks and like make these mountain contacts and make points, and you get like little merit badges and awards and stuff. Dude, that looks cool. I want to do that. I'm going to do that, and I'm going to go up a bigger mountain. So thank you, Jerry, for just igniting this spark in me, and just getting after SOTA. Like a lot of this started just by watching your videos on YouTube. I know you're up there, and thank you, man, for all that you did. So I finally get my technician license after all of these hikes and almost falling off of the mountain, finding Jerry's channel on YouTube. I get my technician license in Norco, California. And then a little more time passes. I find Kevin's channel on YouTube, W6RIP. Dude, they're talking the same lingo as Jerry. They're saying the same things. They're learning the Q codes, the acronyms, the RST signal reporting, and how to call CQ just by watching these two guys on YouTube. And now here I am on YouTube making ham radio YouTube videos. So thank you guys for the inspiration, man. So I'm still hiking, right? I'm on a mission. I got to get to the summit of Mount Whitney. That's like at the top of my list. I never stopped. And so I go up Mount Whitney and I summit. I'm not competent on the air yet, so I didn't activate it. I had my radio with me, but I really wasn't ready to get on the air yet. I was still a little bit microphone shy. So I kept hiking all around Southern California. Like, there are so many peaks and so many adventures out there. I miss it like so much. I'm Southern California. I miss you. So I'm still hiking. I get out the radio one day. I'm going up Cucamonga Peak. I just, you know what? Just do it, man. I didn't even really know if I knew how to call CQ, but I hadn't developed like a rhythm or a flow yet. So I get up this Cucamonga Peak, just sloppily call CQ. I get 4 contacts, and okay, cool, that was fun. And I figured out a little while later how to upload these to the SOTA database. And whoa, I got 8 points, buddy. Cool. And I'm like, this is the beginning of my hobby and just adventures in being outdoors with ham radio. So I almost fell off Mount Baden-Powell in the wintertime. That was a dumbass move. We'll talk about that later, I promise. But I ain't stopping. I don't give up very easily. I'm still hiking in Southern California, learning basic mountaineering, just general mountaineering skills around Mount Baldy. And so I go up Mount Baldy in winter conditions. And at this point, I think I know what I'm doing on the radio now. I've been watching more YouTube and other people calling CQ, other people doing it. And so I go up Mount Baldy in winter conditions. And this is actually my first summit using crampons and an ice axe. Just with basic elementary like mountaineering skills. I call CQ on 2 meter simplex, 146.52. And Jerry, KG6HQD, is my first contact that day. I heard the dude's voice through the radio, and I've been watching him on YouTube this entire time, and that was really cool. And the dude was just so cool, like had my back, let me know if you need anything. And yeah, I got 10 contacts. It was my first mini pileup, and I'm hooked. I'm walking down that mountain like, dude, that was the coolest thing ever. Like, Roger, Roger, copy, copy, over. Good, buddy. So I kept going, kept hiking up lots of summits around Southern California. I got to around 250 SOTA points, all VHF. Whoa, kitty! My cats are back there. One cat wants to play and chase the other cat, and the other cat just wants to chill and eat food. So anyways, yeah, total paper chaser. If you can't tell by now, I'm out here in Indiana and just going out after all of these POTA parks and getting after these little merit badges and awards. It's a ton of fun. If you're interested in ham radio, if you're new to ham radio, all my channel is a demonstration of having fun outdoors, doing portable activations, and having fun with ham radio. So there comes a point where Southern California, I love you. I miss you. California's a dead end. I gotta move to Indiana for job stuff. It was a dead end. So I get out to Indiana. There's no mountains within weekend warrior distance. I'm still a technician at the time. I need HF so I can get on POTA and activate some of these parks. And I passed my general class ticket. Finally, I've always wanted to get on HF and do portable HF SOTA activations in California, but in a place like California where there's like another mountain peak, like they're everywhere and you could just walk up, hike your way, you will your way up these mountains and the little 5-watt walkie-talkie and boom, you got a pile up. Oh, that was fun. It was almost like I could study for my test or I could go up this mountain over here. I'm gonna go up this mountain over here. So that's what I did. I got my general ticket in Indiana, and here I am. So I got my general class ticket. Yes, I just studied all the right answers again. I get my first HF radio. This guy right here, this USDX radio, or whatever it's called. It's like black brick. It's like the Baofeng of HF QRP radios, because even though I just studied all of the right answers, and I really didn't know a whole lot about antennas and stuff when I got on this, I knew all the rules and regulations. Don't worry, I was smart about it, but I knew I didn't want to spend a bunch of money on an expensive radio because I didn't want to like blow the final output stage on this radio. I knew that much about antennas at the time. So I get this radio, some antenna stuff, and I attempt my first parks on the air at Kilsilquah Campground Park US 5683 in Indiana. And it's a fail. I didn't know what radials were at the time. It's the other half of the antenna, dummy. So it was February and cold and windy. Nobody can hear me. I could hear a special event station in Daytona, Florida, and that was really comforting at the time because I was really cold. The whole Roche Lake is all frozen over and my antenna's getting blown over. It's like 30-degree winds that day and cold. It's February. And so that Daytona, Florida station, it sounded like it was much warmer over there, and that was cool. So not giving up. I don't give up very easily. I try again at Pokagon State Park. It's pronounced Pokagon. I'll tell you more about. Actually, no, this is a good time to tell you why I call Pokagon State Park. Because I made my first HF contact there on this radio right here. And I just have these janky radials. I bought them off of Gigaparts, not even knowing if it's going to fit together with whatever tripod I was using at the time. But I Mickey Moused them together, and I was using the Diamond HF20CL, that mobile antenna that I use sometimes. It was on a tripod. I dialed in the SWR on a Nano VNA, and I made my first HF contact. So why do I call it Pokagon State Park? Well, nobody took me by the hand and said, oh, hey, Alan, this is Pokagon State Park. It's such a nice place. Let me show you the toboggan run and this and that. No, I just went on the POTA map page. Nobody showed me how to get there or like how it's pronounced. I just decided, hey, look, there's a POTA park over there. Let's go try to activate it. And it just sounded like Pokagon State Park. And I made my first HF contact there, and that was a very special day. So in punk rock ham radio world, it's pronounced Pokagon State Park. It's pronounced Pokagon, but okay, whatever. Okay, so now I can get a match to my antenna, to my radio. I already know at this point that I'm committed to this hobby. I really want to do parks on the air in the Flatlander states in the Midwest in Indiana. Like, I know I'm going to do this and I'm going to do it. So I spent a little bit of money. I got my Yaesu 891. It took me a couple more tries to actually get the 10 contact minimum to claim a successful parks on the air activation on HF. Then finally, so that's 1, 2, 3. So my fourth outing where I went up and set up a radio station, I finally get a park activated. I got my 891 and a spark plug end-fed half-wave antenna, and I'm at Roche Lake Fish and Wildlife Area, Park US 4208. It's called like Observation Mound on the northeast side, and there's a picnic bench and a bunch of trees. I threw that antenna up in the tree, and I think I even acquired my rig expert at that time because my Nano VNA, I like couldn't see the screen very good in the sun. So I just said, to hell with it. Let's just buy once, cry once. Okay, whatever. I know that I'm doing this at this point. So I get that thing all set up with whatever like minimal like knowledge and experience that I have at that time. I know a little bit about SWR and like that's about it. I still don't know that much about antennas. I'm always learning. So I got my first major pile up that day. I made 37 QSOs with like more stations calling me, and I just got completely overwhelmed. And I don't even think I knew what like QRT was. I just said, I gotta go buy. And like, psh, wow, that was awesome. Okay, like now we're getting some traction. We're getting somewhere. So, and the story goes, I just kept activating Parks on the Air on the weekend all over northern Indiana, just getting better and better every single trip. And then eventually one day I grabbed this guy, this GoPro right here, as I was headed out the door to go on a parks activation to just film my QSOs and work on my flow and that kind of thing. And I just started talking into the camera and yeah, started making YouTube videos. So there you have it. That's how this punk rock guy from California got into ham radio. I hope you guys enjoyed the story. So that's all I got for now. I hope my audio and lighting are okay. I don't know, I've never made this type of a video before, and I'm not gonna know how my audio and lighting is until I start editing this video, and I'm not gonna film it over again. So thank you everybody. Thank you Paul. Thank you Jerry, rest in peace buddy. Thank you Kevin, my original YouTube Elmers. Thank you guys. And just thank you everybody for watching the videos. Well, I promise we're gonna get out into the field soon and continue this antenna tinkering project. I have a hypothesis. This whip is like a wee bit longer than 17 feet, and I think that's what I need, but we'll figure that out later. And I look forward to bringing you all on many more punk rock ham radio adventures. There's lots of parks around here that I've activated that I haven't made a YouTube video on. I got a lot going on. Maybe we'll go to some of those parks that are a bit closer. I had a million plans for this summertime. A lot of big trips planned that are kind of postponed. This summer of 2024, I'll never forget being on the go every single weekend, just like I did in California, going up all of those mountains, just park after park after park after park after park. While I was on my way to this is the welcome. This is my future radio room here at the KM6 TWI compound. So thanks again, everybody, for watching and being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe and join me on all of my adventures. That's all we do here is have fun with portable ham radio and have fun being outside. You never know, maybe I'll have a big honking ham radio station set up in here someday. So subscribe to Punk Rock Ham Radio, and I'll see you guys in the next video. 73.